confusing the people, or are you really a thinker? Why Socro?
A lot of times I sit and ponder
Maybe
such.
that is why it is Socro.
Maybe.
He owns a luxurious Audi and he enjoys a bumpy ride in the auto. Why this love for auto and auto drivers? We have heard you speaking that wellness of water is much more critical than wellness of human. So can you please explain water's wellness?
So we all say we are 70% water, right?
True.
Water is the mother and matrix of life. Aren't these two the same?
So you're saying the bond between H2O, the H2O bonds can be measured.
This is called hydrogen bridging,
Okay.
right? So what is hydration? Can you explain to me what is hydration?
In theory, it is cells. The cells needs to be
Hydrated.
hydrated. That's it. But then, as a practical way, I should feel energetic and I should not feel thirsty.
See, now you're coming to outcome.
Welcome to Life Grids. I'm Krithika, and in this episode, we meet Srinivasan Vitoba, a successful businessman, investor, entrepreneur, scientist at heart, and co-founder of the revolutionary Jiva Water Devices. In a world obsessed with numbers and logic, Srini brings us back to what really matters: emotion, real relationship, simplicity, and meaningful outcomes. You will listen to all these things. For him, Audi is just a utility, not an identity. And he finds as much joy in saying chai kare as well as in improving. I really enjoyed this conversation. I got my own golden nuggets, and I am sure you will find your nuggets too. I'm so glad you Welcome to Life Grids, a beautiful conversation that will help us evolve as a human to be more healthy, to be more powerful, to be more influential, and experience a life to its full. We're so happy to have you, Srini. We're really happy and so excited to have you. When the whole world is talking about the wellness, like just now I said, to be healthy, to be best, and all these things, we have heard you speaking that wellness of water is much more critical than wellness of human. So, can you please explain water's wellness? We know that it is clean water is what we drink, and I thought that is good. And you're saying that is not sufficient. You're saying that's only half the story. What is the rest of the story? What is this water's wellness?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show, Krishna, and to everyone. The actually, whatever question you just asked me, at the face of it, it looks like a very basic question, right? No, but you need to step back to understand this because actually, if you see as human beings, we have two faces. I'm talking about society per se. I'm not just talking for myself. You just reflect back. We all say something, but when you just look at yourself, the kind of messages you're forwarding, right? We all connect to it. We need to do this for nature. We are this, we are that. But what we end up doing in life will be pretty much something else, right? So this is a dichotomy. This is a dichotomy that is natural, right? The point I'm coming to is if you step back, ultimately we know we all say we are 70% water, right?
True.
So okay, so actually I come from manufacturing background. Okay, so in manufacturing, when you're doing serious manufacturing, the most fundamental principle followed is root cause analysis,
Okay.
which is we call it root cause analysis, follow a formal system. But medicine, everywhere they say, you have a headache, you do your test, maybe ultimately you end up treating the stomach. Correct? That's what it is. So coming back to your
But sorry, today a headache is treated by a paracetamol or a pill that we look for an instant.
so let me connect both. So actually, even in manufacturing, it is true. So what happens is, I have a headache today, I need to treat it. So which means paracetamol is fine. But if I am continuously getting it, so they will always quickly go to finding the root and solving it there, not keep giving paracetamol all the time.
Agreed.
Right? So this is a quick fix that we all follow, right? But coming back, the reason for bringing this up is we are water. We all have at some point heard about this. We are predominantly water. We are 70% water, molecular level, cellular, whatever level it is, right?
Yes, yes.
So which means water is the fundamental requirement. It is
You're calling me a bottle of water?
you could be more than that.
Okay.
No, but ask yourself, right? So you don't have to take my word for it. Even where did life start? I'm asking you this question. Where did life start? As per theory of evolution,
It's
is the
what?
Cambrian explosion, right? Cambrian explosion is the first introduction of the marine species. From there, they believe that life started. You come to scriptures. If you don't want to go science, then you come to scriptures. Matsya Avtara.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, no?
Yes.
So, but ultimately, we are saying life came from water. So, hence, water is life, and hence, you may just be a bottle of water.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, am I a mineral water? Am I a spring water? What is so? Is this water inside this bottle? Is it good? Is it right? What is your.
Actually, the point at which we are now, so actually, I was fascinated by this question. The point where we are today in the society, where we natural, have we become commoditized?
Mhm.
I think it is.
Yes.
It is, right? What is the difference between natural and commodity? Right?
Mhm.
When I do something spontaneously, water was flowing by itself. It was all spontaneous, right?
Yes.
When I start applying logic to things
Mhm.
and I break it down, then it's no more natural. We are in the world of artificial intelligence.
Yes.
It's all about logic. Logic is a pre-step to being natural. Imagine you're driving a car.
Mhm.
You're learning to drive a car where a lot of logic comes, You have to press your clutch and then you have to do your gears, So various things. But today you're driving, with your phone in your hand, you're just driving, you reached home, you don't know how you reached home.
Yes.
You just reached in a most crowded town. So we by doing applying a lot of logic, we have come back one step. Where we were natural, we were doing things spontaneously. Spontaneous because there is a natural resonance by which things happen, and we stripped it to logic, which is what in my mind I call this as linear science, right? I'm a science student, by the way, right? So linear science, too much of linearity and taking it further and further has taken us away from nature. So hence the dichotomy is, as a society, we want for solving something that is natural, but we are applying logic. But from logic, we are not able to become spontaneous. We're getting logical, and getting lost.
Yeah,
Is
we're
my take.
getting evolved in logic. So, in that line, so what is this logic behind what is wellness?
See, to me, the first step of logic, you just try and see where we kind of lost it. I'm now not, I don't want to get into this Western world, ancient India. I don't want to get confused there. But still, if you step back, there are a lot of things we followed, right? You take for cuisine, for example, before I touch the point you're asking of wellness. For example, you say the rasam that was being prepared, right? By logic, what is that? Some pepper water?
Yeah.
You can call it that.
Yeah, little tamarind, little.
But yeah,
salt
the
and
things that went into it, ultimately, if you see today, that is what they're saying. All this didn't happen by chance, it happened naturally. So all these actually go and do some work in the body. This we knew, right? So it becomes a little deeper, it may be tough to get into so much detail. Now suddenly we are in a point where the current generation will be saying, did you have carbs today? Did you have proteins today?
That's today's language.
So what is wellness? Right? So wellness is holistic, right? How is my hair? How is my skin? It's all a part of a system, right? You pluck your hair hard, right? Maybe you'll get a pain in your leg. I'm just making this up, right? You don't know where the pain is. Why did that happen? It's a nervous system. It's connected completely. So we make it into a silo and we create so much jargon into it, we get sucked into a jargon. So to me, 100% well-being to wellness, we knew. So it's like combining some of your questions from earlier. That's the answer. We applied so much of logic, and then we are saying, okay, cosmetic, you put sunscreen, you put this, you put that. Where did, first of all, the sheen for the skin come from? From birth. right? Where did that memory reside? Just deeper questions, right? Which is what Zen tries to do, right? Like, what did I look like before I was born? I'm just giving a very philosophical example. How did a child speak? If you say Amma, right? Where did it get that from? But these are we know. So typically it comes back to we all came from a cell, Krithika. So it is fundamental governing thing is a cell, right? So that is where wellness is. I think this is the answer, and wellness to be looked holistically, not logically, would be my take. Same answer for all the three questions.
So you're saying if I have a purifier and if I'm drinking water, because that's a normal thing today at home, I have a purifier and I think that is full, that's complete. But you're saying that is not the complete water. Is it that?
So I'm going to ask you back. So
Okay.
isn't it, Krithika? So let us say you want to become a spiritual guru. Let's say that is your goal. All right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know.
I know you love it. Okay. So for that, I'm just going to go have a bath.
Okay.
So does it make you a spiritual guru? Or let us say, now I'm a little dirty, I'm going to take a very deep bath. I will scrub my body with whatever, instead of soap, I'll do shikakai or whatever.
Wow, I'm getting it. So you're saying you're saying that the water we are drinking is only the physical parameters or the chemical parameters that today we are talking about. You're talking about the inner soul of the water?
It is, so soul make it philosophical. What is the water expected to do?
So what
For
is
that,
it?
so for that, okay, so what is it expected to do?
See, all we have been taught is water is H2O and you need to drink clean water. But out of the blue, and now we are hearing from you that that is not enough. What am I expecting more from that water? What should I expect in the water to be so that it is really the right water?
Exactly. So hence, come back to my first point on dichotomy. Do you realize that we are doing two things here? One is we are saying hydration, we are saying this, hence I will apply logic and then strip it. So it is like taking bath. I'm combining all of that, right? You're taking bath. Ultimately, what have I done to water? I don't know. Now I'm seeing a clean water. But your goal was to become a spiritual leader.
Yeah.
Like that, what did I expect out of water? I don't know.
So the water is clearly not helping me for the goal of being super healthy.
So what? So tell me, Krithika, what are you measuring typically in water?
pH, TDS.
Correct.
That's all as a normal person I know.
So let me again ask you another question. I'm sure in your primary school, your 5th standard, 6th standard, wherever you had done these simple experiments in life. No, what do they actually approach? Right? If you remember your 6th class,
hopefully
something you say, okay, do this experiment. Then there's an objective, correct? We all try to do that, saying, okay, to prove that this will happen.
Yes.
Then you're doing something.
Right.
And let's say that did not happen. Then what do? You will go back and change it.
Yes.
Correct?
I do that
Till you get
again.
it.
Yes.
Correct? No. After you got it, then you're now able to say, look, these are the things I did. These are the things. Hence, I got it. So 10 times you repeat it, you're getting it. Right? Now I'm asking you. What I'm asking you as a person.
Okay.
Why do you drink water? What are you expecting out of water?
Okay. Why am I drinking water? One, to quench my thirst, and I need to be hydrated. When I'm not drinking enough water, I do feel tired. I feel messy thoughts and things. So water clears me, keeps me sane.
Correct.
Yep.
So which means now all of these what you said is what is becoming the objective.
Yes.
Which means my water should deliver this, become the objective.
Yes.
Now, has your water done it? You have done 10 things. You've measured pH, you measured TDS, whatever people have told you've done. You've done alkaline, you've done whatever, right? Yes. Today's jargons. Let us say, have you found results? Has it got you anywhere?
See, when I don't know what to expect, I'm happy with what I'm having.
So hence, coming back saying we are not even defining an objective, but we're measuring something, right?
Yeah.
So let me take an easier example. So you're giving water to the plant.
Yes.
Right? Human being is the same, plant is cellular, all are similar. Now, what do you expect when you give water to a plant?
I want fruits. I want the plant to be, you know, a big, very nourishing, very looking good plant and big and
Correct.
strong plant.
Now,
Yes.
now I think there is an universal answer. I don't have to ask you. I can even answer it myself. That none of this is happening across the
Yes.
world, because this
Yes.
is something United Nations is talking. Even India is talking.
Yes.
Soils are gone, waters are gone, and the plants are gone. Produce is gone. Right? No nutrition, nothing. We're just saying.
Mhm.
Now, how did that happen? So point I'm making is the objective has not been met, that you wanted the plant to grow very well, produce fruit with good nutrition. This is my expectation. That is not happening. But now, how are you measuring the same thing is my question. Like your sixth standard experiment, I have not even got my objective. Then why are you measuring pH and
No, I
TDS?
realized the output is not the one which I expect. The plants are not as earlier it used to be, and hence I add fertilizers. I add so many other things.
So this is coming back to root cause. I also understand that we know, and I believe you will be with me on this, that we are making a mistake. We are because we don't know what to do. All I am saying is there is something deeper we are missing about water. Okay, and now I'm going to take the liberty of saying this. I'm sure, since you are a spiritually oriented person,
Mhm.
you have come across this in our own Vedas, Yajurveda. Yopam ayatanam Veda ayatanavan bhavati. I'm sure you've heard this in
Yes.
temples and all that. Do you know what this means?
Would be good if you can explain us.
Actually, even for me, I didn't know at one point. It means one who understands the true essence of water will understand everything about life. This was told then. Now let us keep that. I'm sure this will get brushed off as these Vedas, scriptures. That will be another talk. Then comes people like Nobel laureates.
Mhm.
So Albert St. Georgi,
Mm.
right? What did he say? Water is the mother and matrix of life. Aren't these two the same
Yes, it
in
is.
terms of what it implies?
Yes.
So which comes back? Why I'm talking about this? There is something deeper in water.
Mm.
So connected to life is water. Water started from life. Coming to logic, coming to how we stripped it, and now we are saying in scripture, in Nobel laureates, in science, all of this comes back and telling us with a knock on the head, guys, wake up. There is something deeper.
Mm.
Now, what is the deeper?
Exactly.
Right? What is the deeper may be the question, but not blindly keeping on doing the same thing. The time to
Mm.
realize that I need to unlearn and then understand. I'm not even saying learn, because wisdom, you need to just start, right? Not keep asking too many questions, is where the point is. And that is a question I completely accept. It's a valid question. And I think today we have answers for that.
What are those answers?
Which is the depth of water. This is a interesting question about water. How I know, you would have never thought about this. You said H2O is water, right?
Yes.
So which means, you have this as there are two H's and one O, and there's a
Yes,
bond
yes.
and all that.
Right.
So let us take a household, right? You have a role, your husband has a role, your children have a role. Each one are themselves. But how is that a house becomes a home? How is this a bonding come? The bond,
Mm-hmm.
the H and O.
Mm.
I'm using the emotional bond, physical bond
Yes.
to relate to both.
Mm-hmm.
Then you feel for each other. Then you come closer. It's not that every day you're saying something. There is a natural closeness, a natural affinity that is happening, right?
Mm.
This is the bond word itself means that. We didn't use it frivolously. Now, if you come back from astronomy to the stars, to the water, to the molecules, ultimately the entire universe is filled with only HO and various of these elements, right? How they bond. The bond can, if you go into science and measure, you can measure something. Everything will convert to frequency and vibration. But what is that point at which they stay connected? I'm using the word connected, like a bond.
Okay, so you're saying water is not just H2O, it is also the connecting bond, the strength of the bond.
So
That
absolutely. So I'm going to you have I'm sure you have come across the bees. the bee and the honeycomb structure.
Yes.
Have you?
Yes.
Correct. All of us have seen it.
Yes.
But do you know a Buckminster Fuller? Buckminster Fuller is one of the greatest architects in this world.
Okay.
So if you have been in the US, I'm sure you have, right? The geodesic dome based on which the Epcot Center was built. What is the structure?
Honeycomb.
Buckminster Fuller is credited to have taken it from there in nature and applied it here, and he believes that that is the strongest structure that we can actually ever use, and he brought it to architecture. Now your question on natural, artificial water. Now you see water naturally in nature. I'm talking about natural water in its pristine self. Water flows with molecular structures of that form.
Get it.
Right? Now I will tell you something. This was a discussion I had with a professor of IIT. I mean, I'm talking about, he's about 85 now, Dr. Srinivasan. He was the first or the early bioengineering chairs in IIT, and he has set up subtle energy institutes in the US, where he asked me these questions. How this whole water sinks with. So it is like a leaky bucket. So supposing there is a discordance at home, right? Something happens. The bond becomes weak.
True.
Same thing happens with water. Because water, when it gets contaminated, physical or energetic, the way we understand, let's just take it as contamination, the molecules, the bond becomes weak. And so what happens is, let's say, something is happening at home, you go and then, you'll talk to some friend, that friend will bring 10 people, something will happen. Same thing happens in water. The bond breaks, then, this guy is going and attaching with some other element, something else is happening. So it's no more water, right? So when the molecules are well aligned, right, then the energy cannot leak, right, like the family bond. So it is important for that to be tight. And Krithika, what is interesting for me is that this has been measured today. That is the interesting point.
Okay.
Right? Because this, how much ever you said, some people will brush it off as, because we are in a proof-oriented, evidence-oriented, nothing is felt.
So you're saying the bond between H2O, the H2O bonds, can be measured?
Yeah. I mean, see, when you go deep science, you use, let us say, extreme sensitive equipment. It can be. And it has been measured. It has been measured where natural waters, what is the, this is called, hydrogen bridging.
Okay.
Right? So when molecules come closer to each other, how they kind of connect. So there is intramolecular, intermolecular. Right? Understand this correctly. Intramolecular is within the molecule between the two atoms.
Right.
That's intramolecular. Intermolecular is between the molecules.
Between the molecules.
Now we are talking about intermolecular. So this is not naturally there. If I keep this held well, then my intramolecule will get taken care of. So this happens when we are talking about nanoscale, Krithika. This is measured in extreme small, like 5 decimal levels kind of numbers, right? It's not even fathomable. That is the level at which measurements are done. And when that strength is good, the bonds do not break. And that is natural, because our cells, we didn't create the cell, right? Cell was natural. Hence they are able to resonate well, and hence the water is able to go through the cell. Cell is an ecosystem, Krithika, and I am not any big biologist.
Okay.
I'm just talking about your mitochondria, your protoplasms, and various components of a cell. Just imagine a cell you can't even see. Mitochondria becomes the engine of life. It's called engine of life. Imagine the role it is playing.
So we are made of trillions of cells, and each cell is powered by the water that we drink. And if that water is not having the right bond or the bridging that you're saying that is why the water is not doing its actual job that it was supposed to do.
Actually, I'll also flip it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that if you didn't like somebody, will you allow somebody to come to your house?
Very
No,
difficult.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
definitely.
mean, unless I barge in.
Yeah.
Let's leave that out. So typically, this is the cell is the house.
Mm.
Now the mitochondria needs to be able to feel, right? That and then allow the water to come in. So when that is missing, it is not able to allow it. It knows.
So you're saying the water today that we drink, which is clean, the half story of the water that we drink, mitochondria is not letting the water in?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
So
then
what
how?
is the buzzword? You used it earlier. You said hydration.
Yes.
Hydration is the biggest hydration detox, the biggest words, and as usual, an abuse jargon. So what is hydration? Can you explain to me what is hydration?
In theory, it is cellus. The cells needs to be
Hydrated.
hydrated. That's it. But then, as a practical way, I should feel energetic and I should not feel thirsty.
See, now you're coming to outcome, and
Yes.
you're not. That's not happening. And we
Yeah.
don't know what is hydration. So what do? I'll end up drinking more water.
That's it. Because today that has been the start from a spiritual level or a physical level or emotional, whichever wellness you talk, people say drink more water, drink 10 liters of water, 5 liters of water, 3 liters at least.
That is
This
because.
is what the quantity they say.
So that is because it is not doing a job, and hence I'm saying drink more. Simple, right? So what do you say? Study more. You will not go back and help it at the root. But if I gave the right, I will tell you what hydration is, which I learned recently.
Okay.
Hydration, a very simple explanation, is equal to wetness.
Wetness. Hydration is equal to
So I will
wetness.
touch here. Is it damp or dry? Right. That's all right.
Mm.
So when the cells are wet, the cell wall, that is called true hydration.
As a layman, you are from the industry and you speak with authority. As a layman, how would I know my cells are wet or not?
See, that question can be answered. So I'll come back to the tree example. When I did certain things and I'm saying everything, but ultimately it gave me crazy number of fruits, and suddenly fruits are not falling. Suddenly the roots are great. The soil is looking. I get the smell of the soil. Then you got it.
So
which means something has happened.
I can know that my cells are, or the plant, or even for me, I would be much more powerful or much more productive if my cells were wet or hydrated well.
Yeah, so that is a reverse conclusion, right? I am saying cells need to be hydrated.
Hydrated.
That's called wetness.
Okay.
It goes into deep biology, which may just go out of our bandwidth, but very simply to understand, there are channels in our cell. So what happens is, because of wetness, the contaminants will not be able to stick. They'll get purged. It just flows out, correct? But the channels will carry the nutrients hence and then distribute it to your tissues well. Reason why you see great outcomes when we are just using correct water.
Got it. Tell me one thing. This is on a very lighter note. If you had been earning $100 every day for every time you said water, I'm sure you would be rich by now than you are.
See, it is. So, like I said, no, I'll relate it back to water. We always miss the metric.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to jump? What do I need to benchmark my metric on, right? If I'm, let's say, I'm doing long jump, right? And I say, I am a 100-meter sprinter and I did it in 12.5 seconds. You're supposed to do long jump. What are you measuring yourself the time taken? So where are we getting mixed up? Everything seems to become money, right? Money is very important. I am not saying no at all, right? You need to live, survive. But money is a factor of what you do. I'm saying do the right things, do it correctly, money will happen. Hence, coming back, measure is not about $100. You will be rich by now. And if I am in a scholarly competition, right? Will I be awarded because I have $1 trillion in my account? No, that is a different competition, right? So hence, getting to money all the time is the biggest mistake we make.
The word water triggers everything for you.
I resonate a lot with water, Krithika. I mean, I have no reason why, but I just naturally.
That was my follow-up question. But why? Why is water so much? Today, I think we can call water is equal to Srini.
Yeah, maybe because of what I'm doing, but actually, I don't know. I don't have an answer. Certain things in life you don't have answers for. I've tried to ask myself, I don't know. But I do know that, you know, in my own, if I go back in time, I have done a few things that seem to all connect back with water, soil, all of that.
Okay.
And to me, I think, to me, it's we need to revere it. We need to respect it. And it has to come from deep within. It can't be lip service. And my heart truly is there. Right? And I just need to resonate with water.
Now, with that kind of an effort that you're just applying everywhere and you're trying your best to, so in few years, maybe 5, 6 years, the whole world is drinking the right water, which is a full story, which is with the right hydrogen bridging and bond and is our Jiva water. How would the world look like? How would the people look like? How would the soil look like?
Oh, that is the biggest gratification. That will be the biggest gratification. See, life is at one point love and gratitude, correct? What are you grateful for? We are grateful for things. For example, if you take any person, they will say gratitude to my parents. It's a very natural thing, Then maybe grandparents, and it'll go on. Are you grateful? We tell, we will forward also, but we will not truly be. I'm using the word truly. Are you grateful to the water? Are you grateful to the soil? We will all forward saying we need to owe it to the farmer, we need to owe it to the soldier. But what is woe? Just being lip service and going out?
Many times we take it for granted. We just, once we have the basics, we somehow move on in that ladder. And it's not that we forget, but then we just miss to be thankful to the basics of the water and soil. And
It's a heart related subject. Heart is not logic. Right? We just need, there are certain things that are beyond words. It's a feeling. You feel nice about a few things. So the respect has to be not told, water, dear water, I respect you. I'm not talking about that.
It's
You
just
need
that
to feel it
when
here.
I drink water, at this moment I think, please let's have some water
Yeah.
with gratitude.
Yes.
Cheers.
This naturally happens. So for
Yes.
me, it is a given.
Srini, I would like to start this in Tamil. Yeah, I will translate this
You can ask me in Tamil, you can ask me in
I'm
Kannada, you
Kannada.
can ask me in Telugu, English, and maybe some about Hindi also. I will manage. So you go ahead, shoot yourself.
ஆடி வைத்துக்கொண்டு ஆட்டோவில் போகும் தொழிலதிபர். So for my viewers, I'll explain. He owns a luxurious Audi and he enjoys a bumpy ride in the auto. Why this love for auto and auto drivers?
So it will come back to, while you may be asking this more for the lighter side of it, but I'll connect it back to the serious questions that I answered.
Okay.
Ultimately, we miss the route, right? What is all that we're doing for? For me, transport is about, can I reach somewhere in time, right? And I want to be fit. I need to be fully aware of what I'm doing. Imagine, I take my Audi, and given the way the roads currently are, chock-a-block, by the time I reach your place, I'll be like, come on, man, just give me a cup of tea. Let me just stretch for a while. Is that what you want? No. So for me, leave it to the guy. I could use a cab. Typically, I don't use, because too many people have traveled close to these things. It's all stuck air, and it's not great. So hence, as an auto, free air, just go happy. So serves my purpose. But I love my Audi, no doubt about it. So when I go out of town, I'll just immediately take it and drive. Uh, so ultimately, it is not about just trying to say, yeah, I have an Audi, I will take it and show off everywhere. No,
That's not the
that is
purpose.
where you require what, you just use it. That's all.
That's a huge, profound insight for people who are chasing. They think buying an Audi, buying a BMW, or any other such car is a milestone. And once they reach there, they can't even come back and say that I can go by auto. No, at any given point of time, no, I need my Audi. That becomes their identity.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't want anything to be mine. I just want to be myself.
Another very, very interesting insight. You love a fine dine Michelin star restaurant also, and you enjoy a cup of hot glass of tea in the roadside also.
Actually, I enjoy the second one the most.
Okay.
So I will tell you this little snippet of what happened in my life. Right now, I'm talking about maybe 20 years back or so. So when I first bought my Merc, and new Merc, driving from Bangalore to Coimbatore, family. So my mom was also there with me.
Yeah.
They're all happy. So, we're just going. And my general drive, what you just asked, go to the roadside tea kada. So because like I resonate, right? So typically, this ramshackle looking type of tea shops will be the best. So I naturally gravitate, go stop, and then I get down and I'm just having one glass of tea. And I'm just looking. Suddenly, I realized that no, mom has been staring at me.
Okay.
Then I went to her and said, "What the hell? What's going on?" Then she said, "No, yeah, I'm wondering, man." He said, "No, you have." I mean, she said it in Telugu though. She said, "No, you've got a mug, and you're coming and stopping here and have this tea." Then I said, "Come on." I said, "No, tea is good here. Just because had a mug, I can't go to some great restaurant and have a lousy tea." So I said, "What is good, where is what you do?"
In the car, the Audi and the mug is good, and in chai, you love that
Absolutely,
shack, and so you
absolutely.
choose what you need, and you don't
What I need, and I think these
what you
are these
enjoy.
are the places you get the best. Given a choice, I'd love to have the roadside good stuff.
Okay, so has anything happened like this? No, you're an for last 30 years you've been a part of very successful ventures, and right now you're running this global organization, revolutionizing device. You are one of the who's who of Bangalore, and have you ever experienced someone you are having enjoying your chai and the Srini standing here?
No, no, I'm not that big yet, and in the larger, grander scheme of things, I think we are all nobody. But that's philosophical.
But you're sounding so humble, I'm sure. Uh, from the board to the chai shop when they will spot you.
May not be that exaggerated, but I have some. I've had various experiences because so SJS, the company that I ran earlier, which is now done very well, and it's global. I have so when I sold out, we were about 1,000 plus employees, and now I think maybe around 2,500. I don't know. So it's actually typically I don't know. If you knew it, it is like I was standing and sipping my chai, and then this guy comes up and says, "Sir, namaskara, sir. Chanagidira." I said, "Hey, chanagidini." Then he said, "No, sir. I worked in SJS. This is what I did." This has happened to me many times, and I do feel bad that I mean maybe because 1,000 people and a lot of people would have joined. Sometimes you're not able to recollect. This does
But this has
make me
happened.
feel embarrassed. It has happened a lot. It has
Hmm.
happened quite a few times
The
actually.
Srini having chai
I
just
don't
like a
know.
normal
I don't
person.
know about the Srini, but it is people respect you. People know that you've done this and this happens.
It's what
The
you're about.
Srini, I don't want to be the Srini at any time. Because I don't know. That's how I feel. Because I think in the larger scheme of things, you're too small.
Hmm.
And I think you should be there. That's my take in life.
You have seen while kickstarting SJS in the earlier phase, you have seen the hustle, and right now you've been there, done it. What is that says about people when you were a hustler and right now you are here? What that in this journey, what is that you have seen about people?
See, I don't understand. What do you mean by seeing about people?
When you were a hustler, the same people that the way they responded, the way they uh, connected with you, and right now you have been there. You've been the chairman of the commerce chambers, and you've been in all big roles. So right now you have been there, done it. At least for a normal person who's aspiring to be what you are, for them you have been there, and you have been a hustler in your younger age. So how has people changed, or what does that tell you about people
Oh,
in this
actually,
journey?
no. Actually, it's you're touched around now because actually, again, comes back to that natural, artificial, all of that. See,
Mm.
if money, stature are the things that bring people to you, and if that is the association, that's a very frivolous one. We all know that, right? Natural associations go beyond all of this. What we built from the hustling days to whatever is happening today, right, is deep bonds we built, right, with people. So which required basic principles, financial disciplines, being normal, being natural, irrespective of where you are in life, being the same, right? That is what creates the strength. if you try to showcase that, now look, okay, let's keep a distance, and you come here and bye bye, hi hi, that will be a very, let's say, an easily breakable bond. These are bonds that will carry on, and that is what we built from hustling. So hustling is a common denominator across life, Kritika. Hustling. So even today, as I am journeying on this water venture, this again I'm hustling. It may be, from a monetary standpoint, I'm at a different level, but hustle is the same. Because ultimately reaching some to the people, when sometimes it does come to me saying that no, it is so basic and people are seeing in front of them, why is there so much struggle, right? That's a hustle. Outside world will say, oh, now we know this should go to all the million people. I will tell you, taking the hustle bit out for whatever in our venture we are doing, if people aligned with that, today the queue to what I've seen what are doing, today the queue should be from, let's say, starting from Bangalore, maybe right up to San Francisco. That should be the mile long queue to say, guys, I need it tomorrow. Where's the device? But that's not happening. That's where a dichotomy. So the hustle is a natural process. You need to go through it before it becomes big. But in that route, have you built natural relationships which will stand the test of time? That is the ethos with which we built SJS, and that is the ethos with which I'm building my current venture too.
I know for a fact that your friends and your family also calls you Socro, short for Socrates. Are you really that confusing the people, or are you really a thinker? Why Socro?
It's such a lot of times I sit and ponder.
Maybe that is why it is Socro.
Maybe. So I said, in life, like people have names and that gets shortened, right? So as a Srinivasan becomes Srini, can become Sri, right? A nickname and a nickname getting shortened, I think is my case. They became Socrates, then became Socro, and then became Sock. Okay. So, like my closest friends call me Sock, right? So, but this is very funny. So I don't know what a lot of things we don't know, right? But this happened in my seventh standard, believe it or not, right? Okay. And this is apparently, I was sitting in the class was going on, and I was gazing out of the window, and the teacher saw me doing that, and he stopped. Yeah. And I was oblivious. I didn't realize because my attention was not there at all. And the typical proverbial chalk piece came from the teacher, and I just turned. Then he commented, I believe, saying, see this fellow, he doesn't know what is going on, like Socrates, he's just gazing outside the window. This is what happened. Even my own classmates in school, they didn't pick it up so much. We went out, and somewhere I think, the news went more like we all say, "Hey, not like that." They just went, and some seniors, suddenly 2 days, some seniors, who knew me, started calling me saying, hey, Socrates, like that. I smiled and left it. After that, what happened, I don't know. Got on and on. Forget about school. I go to college. After that, I get to work. And after that, I leave Coimbatore. I come to Bangalore. Bangalore, across the Bangalore folks, everywhere I become Socro. There was there was an interesting point at which, when I was working as a medical rep in my early days, my own colleague, who was later my partner in SJS, he calls me, right? Long story, but just the fun of it is, he says, So I said, who's speaking? Said Srinivasan. So he gives the phone to somebody. Then the somebody says, sir, your colleague. He takes the phone back. He said, can't you just say Socro? I said, man, how do I know that it's you who took the phone? So there was a point at which I was not responding to Srini. I was responding to Socro. So today, if you see everywhere, I will go as Socro Srini. A lot of my LinkedIn's and all that will have Socro.
It is inbuilt and it has gone into the system.
Ingrained. It's ingrained. What is the connect to Socrates? I don't know.
Is that a previous life? We don't know. Maybe in the next conversation.
God knows.
Next conversation. So I think we can wrap it up. You've seen the world in all its shapes and sizes. A parting words from you? for this episode. We will continue to meet for sure on different topics.
Irrespective of, to me, the world is one place, right? And there are human beings, right? We are here for a purpose, and all of us are committed to environment in some way or the other, and I can say that fairly strongly because I have seen this across in fact, actually across current generations, it's more, but all of us have this commitment. I just said, wake up, come out of the logical world, start seeing, start observing, right? Adapt, then see what has to be measured, right? There is so much happening. Don't try to get logical about the universe. This is my parting words. Respect water, respect soil, respect air, the Panchabhutas or the five elements of nature, whatever you call it. Respect it, feel it, don't be logical, see things happening, do things correctly. Let us leave the nature intact. This is the biggest service we would have done to nature. Let us get out of this artificial business, at least as far as nature is concerned. This will be my biggest summary and my few words on.
That's too profound and easier said than done, because today we've been taught from nursery to think, we have been trained to think logical. We have asked to, settle down our emotional things and our feelings, and what do we feel is for secondary, and you are asking us to unlearn. And that's a great takeaway. We will try. I'm sure this conversation, even if it is few people, they stop thinking logical and start feeling for it and start respecting in its real nature. That will be a great outcome for this
Absolutely, I think it's
episode.
it's always one drop at a time.
Yes.
So I think there is that interesting thing, right? The 100 monkey syndrome. They said, there's a this thing. This when 100 monkeys do it, then everybody does it. It's
Everybody.
more like an analogy or a phraseology. So typically, I think just one drop at a time. Just focus on that. Let's not bother about numbers. That will
Yes.
just trigger the ocean to come. And I think the day when we see, I think the question you asked earlier, when we see that in maybe 2 decades from now,
That's
that
too
we
long.
have, we'll leave it to the universe. If it happens the next 5 years, 10 years, it'll be great. But whenever it happens, if we see breathing soil, breathing water, breathing air, and we become the great connoisseurs or the proponents of doing this, that will be a gratified living.
It'll be a thriving community,
Absolutely,
thriving.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's the deepest yearning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was amazing having you.
Oh, it was amazing being here, Chris. As I said, enjoyed the whole session, and thanks for having me too.
All our team from Life Grits, thank you so much. And we wish to have you again and again.
Yeah, pleasure. Happy to come whenever you invite.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.